So we're back, a very special Thanksgiving episode of the Dan and Ninko Show. We did not go anywhere on location, but guess what? We're in Dan's bar. Look at that, Dan O'Brien's bar. All the tequila you could ever
All stuff.
want. The
Tequila, beer, everything.
everything, wine. You got double screens behind you, like if you're a degenerate
Like
gambler.
Prosecco.
Why is it that big? It's the size of your head. That is
one.
a massive size. Yeah, it's a big one. That's definitely not yours. Anyway, so Dan and Ninko Show, episode 78, a very special Thanksgiving episode. We're going to cover a few things. Number one being the Patriots. Dan, are you buying the Patriots to beat the Minnesota Vikings?
You have to ask me that?
No, I already know that you're 100%.
They're 100% going to beat the Vikings.
I actually think they might beat the Vikings. The Vikings last week sucked. They sucked. Anyway.
On the Ninko roller coaster. Where are we going?
I just kicked my phone down. No, here's the thing. The Vikings scored 3 points last week, right? Against the Cowboys. If you watch the Cowboys matchup, they are pretty much, I guess, that's the recipe for beating the Vikings. You have to get up on them, stop the run, number one. I actually said on Get Up last week, which Ryan Clark had mocked me because I said for the Vikings or for the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Vikings, the Cowboys had to stop the run on first down, put them in longer down and distances, and then they could get into a pass rush. Well, Ryan Clark was like, "Oh, how are you going to do that? You're not going to stop them." And they did. They stopped them. But I still picked the Vikings to win, but I was wrong. But I feel like if you're looking at the Patriots, granted, their offense is brutal to watch. It's really tough to watch, but their defense is kind of special right now. I know they haven't played anybody. The Jets are pretty bad, but I want to see them in this stretch. They're going through a stretch here. Second toughest division in the NFL. Can they go on a run? With that being said, I'm breaking out my Japanese rice lager from our good friends at Treehouse Brewing Company.
Good stuff.
Treehouse. Good stuff. Here we go, everyone. Enjoy.
So the Patriots didn't obviously watch our show last week because they let you open the door for the team at that Jets game, which is, I don't know why they let you. You said they were going to lose.
Call me the Jets killer. That's why.
Is that what they said? Or you still in
Bill? That's what Bill called me, the Jets killer.
I mean, you gave David Andrews the big hug, and then he got hurt. Like a jinx.
It's just a bruise. It's just a bruise. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's gone for the season." Perfectly fine. He'll be fine. He has a bone bruise.
Be carried to the locker room.
Well, hey, let's not talk about that. Your buddy Mac Jones literally needed two people, arms on, coming down the steps. But guess what? I've been hurt.
You like Mac Jones?
I love Mac Jones. I didn't like his response to a high ankle sprain, but I thought I tore my ACL again for the second time, and I was crying. That happens. You're like, "Oh no, it's over." You think it's over?
We gotta go in depth on the Patriots game a little bit. But I think it's just good to take these comments because a lot of them kind of go into what we would talk about, I think. So I'll probably do the comments right now.
Yeah, let's do the comments.
All right. Why does every pass play seem so difficult? Are our receivers not getting open?
Well, I think number one, there's probably a little bit of confidence or lack of confidence. Mac Jones and his offensive line. He's hit the turf. He's hit the turf a few times. I think there's open guys, but you see Mac kind of go through a progression where it's 1-2, and then he looks at the rush, and then tries to avoid them, and he's sacked because he's not very elusive in the pocket. I think that because they're not really running the ball on first down, it's setting up these longer down and distances, which other defenses just pin their ears back and they rush you.
His average time to throw is 2.93 seconds.
Is that good?
So you really have time. It's the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, there you go.
He's been sacked 9.7% of his dropbacks this year.
That's bad too.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if it's really not getting through the progression of it or just don't have any time to even get to your second read. I mean, 3 seconds is not long. I mean, it takes you a second and a half to drop back.
Yeah, but then that's when your offensive coordinator needs to come up with like quick hitting plays, slants, wide routes.
That's the problem.
Matchups.
Not like deep posts and deep digs and everything when you only get 3 seconds to throw.
Well, I mean, they did throw for 250 yards, which
against the Jets defense,
which is pretty good. So
it's the second most of the quarter by a quarterback this year.
The offensive MVP had a bad night, the kicker. So Folk, if your kicker has a tough time and you're not scoring by touchdown, that's going to be a long night. So I really think tomorrow it's a short week, but I think the Patriots have kind of the recipe against the Vikings, and the Vikings are like perfectly situated to get beat by the Patriots. I feel it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, so do I. Don't know who's calling the offensive plays, but gotta change up. Do you think that Bill will pull Matt EP from calling plays if this continues?
I don't think so. I don't. I think Bill's like one of them guys where it's stick to the plan, don't deviate. Like even if it's like pulling teeth and tough to watch, I don't see anything changing. I really don't.
Yeah. Any hopes for the remainder of the season with the offense?
I mean, maybe they could get the running game kind of going. You know, I think Harris looked pretty good coming back. Like that combination keeps both guys fresh. But again, I really think it comes down to the offensive line. They're going to have to play really good. They're going to have to play lights out. Can they do it? I think they got the bodies to do it, but I think a lot of that is health. Can they stay healthy? You know, David Andrews been knocked up and hit pretty hard. You know, hitting his head for having a bone bruise. You know, that's kind of messes you up. You start to think like, is this season like not my year this year? Like I'm just getting beat up. So
the coaching is bad, but I mean, there definitely is hope. I mean, Mac Jones's last 10 pass attempts against the Jets, he was 10 for 10 for 134 yards. I mean, they moved the ball. It wasn't like that they couldn't move it. It's just when they get to the red zone, there's penalties, sacks, no time, terrible play calling. I mean, you get a 3rd and 2 and you're running a shotgun zone run. I mean, what?
That one just boggles my mind. Like, freaking boggles
probably
my mind.
The worst. All right, so then the next one is hate Matt Patricia, love the special teams touchdown.
I don't hate Matt Patricia. No, I don't. Do I think some of the play calling, like the 3rd and 2, are not great? Yeah, but I also think you're asking a guy to go from defense that he's been a long time to switching to a completely different style, and guys basically dedicate their lives to being offensive people. Now you're asking somebody to switch. I think it's more so on Bill and trying to make that role change than Matty P. I guarantee he's freaking working his ass off. It's just tough. It's all about like chemistry and like just feeling the game. And it hasn't gone well. And then the special teams play was awesome, but they kind of lucked. I mean, it was the first punt return of the season. Yes, like you lucked out. Everything kind of aligned. The stars aligned. That was the first punt return of the season in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think though you should start using Marcus Jones on offense a little bit.
Yeah,
put
why
that
not?
guy over for a screen pass. Line him up in the backfield.
Make people miss. Do a little bubble screen, something like quick hitter. Get it out of Mac's hands quick. So like those playmakers, like you see, look at the 49ers. I think the 49ers look like a different team right now with just McCaffrey. Getting McCaffrey. Yeah, McCaffrey. You pick a McCaffrey. They're doing plays where literally they're just throwing McCaffrey the ball on a wide route, and he's making people miss and scoring touchdowns. Put them out wide, split them out, have a slant route. Easy pitch and catch, bang. And Jimmy Garoppolo's looking pretty good. They're looking confident. Now the 49ers are a team that might surprise some people. You don't know. It only takes it's only 1 or 2 guys. Like if you get a spark from somebody, you can go on a run.
It's amazing. Like you said a few weeks ago, there was only 2 teams in the NFL. It was just really the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles. There was nobody else. I told you got to wait to see teams will get hot towards the back half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you see, we'll see. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
Let's see. We got. So can we all agree it's? Oh boy.
You need a little action figure.
Yeah.
Look at scare. You know what I think this is though? I think whoever gave this to me, I think this was Vrabel, and then they ripped his name off and put Ninkovich. I think that's what it was.
That's probably what it is.
He's definitely got Reeboks.
So can we all agree that it's not Mac Jones? It's definitely the play calling.
I think it's. You can't take it all off Mac Jones. I think there's some instances where he's like maybe a little shell shocked, maybe a little like afraid to pull the trigger, gun shy. But how do you blame him though? He went from having a great rookie season to everyone's basically chanting Zappy, and he comes back from a high ankle sprain. It's pretty shitty, if you ask me.
Well, they're still calling for Zappy. I mean, Mac just went 24 or 28 for 250 yards against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and that's not enough. So what does a kid have to do?
I don't know.
Throw for 400 and four or five touchdowns. Bring back Scar to coach. It's not a thing of bringing Scar back. It's if Scar wants to come back.
Scar don't want to come back. Scar has already been retired. You know where Scar's at? If you want to go see Scar, wake up at 4:30 a.m. and go to the Foxborough YMCA. At 5 a.m., he'll be swimming like 5 miles. That's what he does every single day.
I think he's in the building all the time, though, isn't he? Anyway.
No, I don't think he does that as much. He used to, and then now I think he's done. Think about this. The guy's missed out on so much family time. He was a coach for his whole life, like literally till he was in the 70s. Why would you want to go back and do that? You've made good money. You're not going to live to be 110. Like you got to enjoy what you got left. Like
he might come back.
Nah, he's not coming back. He ain't coming back.
Did David Andrews' injury come from the hug from the door boy?
No, the injury was not for me. I think actually the contusion, the luck of a contusion versus not being available for the rest of the season was probably from the hug. I gave him a hug, gave him some good juju.
Hold him upright a little bit.
Instead of being out for the season, he'll be back. So he's not out. That was good luck, door boy. Good job, door boy.
Hey, Ninko, how did it feel holding the door for Matt Judon?
Don't call me Doughboy.
Door.
I was happy to escort him to a lovely flush sack. Put me on the field. I could run a flush game. Not saying I'll have 14 sacks.
The best part of the game was Ninko opening the locker room doors before the kickoff.
Yeah, that was probably that was the most exciting aspect of that game. Yes, 100%.
That was the worst game I've seen in a long time. Who do you think that came from?
Me. I sent that to you guys. It was shit. It's horse shit. That was really bad. Like 3-3, almost going into overtime.
It could have been 9.
I was leaving. Literally, I was gonna come see you, and I was like, no. I was literally gonna walk over and come see you guys, but I said to myself, I'm gonna beat traffic, and I'm gonna leave in the fourth quarter before they go into overtime, because this game's gonna end 6-3 in overtime.
So you left, and the Patriots scored a touchdown. So I wonder if that's the issue.
I was actually as I came out, I was in like the bridge area, and I saw the punt. I stopped. I'm like, oh, let's see what they could do with this. Then they scored. Then I really ran for the exit. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a mad dash. Yeah, everyone's going to get to their car. So
can't believe that Ninko thought the Pats were going to split with the Jets. Dan is loyal to the soil. That's what it says.
Yeah, you're loyal. You have to be loyal. You do a lot of different things.
Was correct.
You're loyal every single week. You haven't picked against the Patriots this year.
But I told you they can beat any team, and I'm correct with that. Mac played well today with everybody against him. I think that's correct.
I mean, how about? I mean, I feel like if Folk hit those, what would it have been? It would have been
9-3.
9-3.
The game was over.
Still bad, but
the Jets in the second half averaged 2.7 inches per play.
How about Wilson, that young kid? What do you think of him? You think he's done?
They just announced a little bit ago that he's not starting this week.
Mike all White because is he didn't. All because he didn't say, I take accountability and responsibility for our performance.
You wouldn't be pissed if you were in that locker room? You wouldn't be pissed if you were on defense in that locker room?
Yeah, I'd say, what the hell's wrong with you? Do you not have, you know what that is? He's a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
He's a spoiled kid. So I was just working with Herm Edwards. They rehired him at ESPN. So we were working this, where was it? I was there Monday. So I was working Monday. I did NFL Rewind. And we were talking about the NIL stuff with college, because literally he was just with Arizona State. He was telling me that it's completely destroying the game.
Yeah.
He was just saying that that stuff is going to snowball into the NFL. It's going to create these issues, because now it's becoming, everyone's turning into me guys. They're not team building. It's basically just you are just an individual contractor, and you're trying to go to the highest bidder. So it doesn't matter the whole team camaraderie, how the team feels. You're just literally looking at everything on yourself, just yourself. And that kind of has a reflect, that reminds me of that. Do you think your defense is no, it's almost I don't care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm still getting paid. I'm still the quarterback. I'm going to be whatever I'm going to be. I could be good or shitty. I don't give a shit. Nobody else, doesn't matter. And that's so wrong. These teams, you have to have some chemistry. If you don't have chemistry, it's over. You're done. You got to have chemistry.
No, it's 100% what it is. But it's like the Chase Winoviches. Where is the roller coaster that is Ninkovich heading into this week on the Pats?
That's your question.
I swear to God, it's not. I swear to God.
So here's my thing. For you. Here's my thing. The Patriots, their defense hasn't been tested enough yet by a good offense. So they've been playing mediocre teams on offense, which, okay, that you can't control who you're going to play. They don't score enough points is my biggest issue. You have to score points. If you watch Kansas City play, if you watch Buffalo play, granted, Josh Allen, threw an interception against the Vikings. They lost to the Vikings, but there was a minute left in the game, and in 3 plays, they were in scoring position. In 3 plays. So the Patriots, their biggest issue is it takes 8 minutes to score or get kicked 3 points. They can't drive down a field in 3 plays. They just don't do it. They don't do it. They can't. And I don't know how you win a playoff game. At some point, the game's on the line. You got to drive down. You got to score. I don't know if they can do it. I don't know.
But I mean, people act like that they can't play offense. They've moved the ball pretty well. They've had a lot of long drives, lots of non 3 and outs. It's just when they get down to the red zone, it's the play calling at that point.
Okay, so they move the ball well until they get to the red zone.
Yeah.
And then they can't score. So they kick field goals. I mean, Nick Folk, how many freaking field goals has he kicked this year? He's got to lead the NFL in field goals.
Well, I know, but that's not the players. I don't think it's the play calling.
No, I mean, no, because it can't. In certain this. Sorry, I'm burping. This beer. Oof, it's good though. I love it. It's rice. It's the rice in the rice beer. So this is what it is too. When you're in the regular field of play, everything is so much more spread out, and as you get closer to the red zone, things are condensing. So in the field, you could throw a check down, or you could throw something to Stevenson, and he turns it into a 25-yard gain, 20-yard gain. when you're condensed down to the red zone and you only have 20 yards, 15, 10 yards, there is no clear outs. There's no vertical routes clearing out intermediate routes. Everything is so tight that you either have to make really good, tight, contested throws, or you have to have the players that create matchup problems. So if you go 3-by-1, bunch condensed split, like in the past when we had Dola and Julian and James White and Grunk, like you would put all those guys on one side and then have James White like either flood the route or run a flat route, or they would missile motion Julian over and see if it was man or zone. And then if it was zone, Julian would just spot up, find a spot, and make a ton of people miss because he was really slippery. Or it's man, you run a man beater, and boom, Tom gets the ball out quick, ball's on him within like 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, and they run it in for a touchdown. Or you have Gronk run a 7, and it's a touchdown. You just throw it up to him. So I think it's personnel, I think it's coaching, and I think it's confidence, because they don't have a tight end like Gronk. You can't just throw it up to Jonnu. You can't just throw it up to any of the.
But you have 2 tight ends that you pay $50 million each to that don't ever run routes together.
They're nothing like Gronk. Like one Gronk is 2 of those players.
But there's nothing out there like Gronk though. That's an anomaly.
I mean, I think that you could find. But
you have Devontae Parker you could throw a ball up to. Big physical receiver. I mean, there's definitely things they can do, but like when you're 3rd and 2 on the 20-yard line and you run a zone stretch shotgun handoff, like what's the point of that?
That's a bad call. That's just a bad call.
But that's just what happens every time they get in the
red zone. Or they get in the red zone and they take a 10-yard sack or an 8-yard sack.
Yeah. Or 2 penalties.
It's 2nd and 18 or 16. Like then you're so far behind, then you try and do like a slip screen or something, a run to get back on track. Then you're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. There's no plays in the playbook to convert those. Because defense, you're just playing prevent. You're just like, okay, stay on the sticks. They're gonna throw it. They're gonna throw a check down, similar to what Stevenson. I think that was a play where they threw a check down, or was that? I can't remember who that was.
I think it was Stevenson. I think you're right.
Yeah, Steve, where he broke those tackles for the first down.
Yeah,
like 3rd and 15.
But 3rd. Yeah, or 2nd and 18, something big. And it was like second down. The second down, he was a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, still a good run.
He stepped out of bounds. It was a great run because he was tackled in the backfield. The thing with them though is that I do think they have the personnel to do it. It's just they're gonna have to get the play calling done. All right. I mean, the other thing too is in that game, Zach Wilson said something, and people kind of got all over him about the wind there. I was there, and you were there. The wind was actually pretty bad, though.
No, the wind is bad. Yeah, it was pretty windy.
The wind was bad. Yeah,
you can't. I mean, as a player, you can't make excuses like that.
But I'm talking about for as far as some of the play calling and some of the things Mac Jones is looking at. I mean, the wind is going to come into play with that. Yes, you're not going to be throwing 100%. The ball down the field or anything like that. I mean, Zach Wilson, his furthest completion was that ball hung up in the air. It should have been picked off. Jack Jones overran it, and then they come back, but the defender kind of pushed him out of the way, or the receiver pushed him out of the way and made the catch. That was the longest pass play, but you could tell that ball held up in the air.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the wind was a problem.
Yeah.
Most of these other things are kind of all the same stuff. Fire Patricia, offensive line sucks, all that. So I think I think we can end there on that stuff. You want to do picks now?
Yeah, let's do the picks.
All right. So we'll do the Patriots game last because we know where you're going to be at. I don't know where you're at yet on it. So, whew. All right. So you're going to have Bills at the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions.
I was actually going to take the Lions, but I'll take the Bills now since you took the Lions because I was like 50-50 on it.
I think Dan Campbell's got that team ready to run through a brick wall. Hey, man, like he's like a wrestler. Hey, listen up, guys. Now, that's a hell of a win. We're building something here real special. If you believe it, you can do it. You got to just keep building it brick by brick. You're going to do that. His veins coming out of his neck like a goddamn wrestler. I don't know how the hell you talk like that all day without freaking having a heart attack. It might happen soon. Like, I don't know how you talk like that. God, that hurts my throat.
He'll have a heart attack by like 60. Yeah, like I said, I want to take the Lions.
So will I,
take the
Dan.
Lions,
I'm
but
going to
I'll
have
take the
a
Bills. I'm going to take the Bills.
All right.
But
go with the Bills.
The other thing too is I want to go. But here, this is my thing with this. Didn't you say the Bills were the best team in football like 2 weeks ago?
No, I said that they were playing like the best team in football, and then you saw them lose to the Vikings, and you saw a little chink in their armor. You know what that chink is?
Yeah, and they lost to the Jets.
Yeah, but I think the pressure is getting to Josh Allen a little bit, like all the expectations to be like the Super Bowl team. I think they're not playing like they were in the beginning of the season. They had a chip on their shoulder. I think now they're starting to play a little bit nervous, like nervous energy. So you go play the Lions on a short week in Detroit. I think you could get beat. I think they could.
Yeah, I think their season's over if they get beat. Giants at Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys.
I'm also going Cowboys. I actually think the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC right now.
See, I just hate the fucking Cowboys. Everyone loves the Cowboys.
I don't like the Cowboys either. I'm just saying that if you put them against the Eagles, play 10 times, the Cowboys are going to win the majority of those games. You're going to have Buccaneers at the Browns.
I'm going Bucks.
I'm going to take the Browns in this one.
Is
Jacoby Brissett's last start probably?
He played well last week. He threw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't think Tampa's really that good. Next one is Bengals at the Titans. That's a good game.
I'm going Titans.
Of course you will. You love Vrabel. I don't know who you like more, Vrabel or Brady. I'm going to go Bengals on that one. I'm going to go Bengals. I think their offense will be a little kick in.
This might be a massive shift in the – we're tied right now for picks.
Yeah, every week we end up tied.
Well, we'll see.
Texans at the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins. Bears at the Jets.
Bears.
I'm gonna go Jets. I think that the new starter will kind of get them going, and Fields is kind of hurt too, so separated shoulder.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
do your homework. They shoot that up, baby.
Falcons at the Commanders.
Commanders.
Mm-hmm. Broncos at the Panthers.
What a poo fest that is.
Well, Sam Darnold is starting.
Broncos. Broncos.
I'll go Broncos too. Ravens at the Jaguars.
Ravens.
Chargers at the Cardinals.
Chargers.
Raiders at the Seahawks. Seahawks. Rams at the Chiefs. Everybody thought this was going to be a good game.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. Chiefs are 14.5-point favorites. Oh, boy.
Losing my phone.
Saints at the 49ers.
49ers.
Packers at the Eagles.
Eagles.
Steelers at the Colts.
Colts.
I'm going to go Colts too. Then we're going to have tomorrow night, after you're fully eaten and everything, the 8:20 game, Patriots at the Vikings. Where are we?
I'm going Patriots.
Ooh, staying up there.
Patriots. I got an appearance on Monday, so can't mess up these appearances. People think I'm hating on the Pats. I'm just a realist. I just live in the real world, man. I think beer. So I think a beer company.
I'm obviously going to go Patriots. I think then the other thing too is, this is my question to you: is what do you think of the Patriots if they beat the Vikings? Where do they rank? In the AFC, do they become playoff contenders? Do they become AFC Championship contenders? Do they become Super Bowl contenders?
I think if they beat the Vikings, I don't think anyone's picking the Patriots to beat the Vikings.
No, they are.
I wouldn't have. Nah, they are. Well,
Vikings
no,
are only a 2-point favorite.
They wouldn't have picked the Vikings if the Vikings didn't lose the way that they did to the Cowboys. They lost terribly. If they would have at least scored 12 to freaking 21 points, people have been like, yeah, okay, they just screwed up. They didn't play their best. They scored 3 points. They look like shit. So I'm going to say the Patriots could probably be a playoff team, but I don't see them like getting to.
They already are a playoff team.
Yeah, they're a playoff team, but they're not a championship team. They're not an AFC championship team.
So what if they come back next Thursday and beat the Bills? What do you think of them then?
I'd have to see how they win. I would have to see how you. No, it's not.
The NFL,
a win is not a win.
Win's a win.
No, that's all bullshit. Until you run into a buzzsaw and you get your head fucking shut, you get your head cut off because you're like, oh, we're so good.
Said the Bill. You said the Bills were the buzzsaw. You said the Bills were the buzzsaw of the whole NFL.
Yeah, and now it's the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have overtaken them, but they're still. Though both of those teams are going to score more points than you. Which at the end of the day, you got to score points to win.
Yeah, well, you got to not turn the ball over because you could easily have Josh Allen against the Patriots throw 3 interceptions.
Would you rather Josh Allen be your quarterback?
Yeah, of course.
If the Patriots had Josh Allen as their quarterback, what would they be?
They'd be undefeated because of Bill Belichick.
But they don't.
I know.
So you got to face Josh Allen. They got to face Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than what the Patriots. There's a bunch of teams so you look forward. I know, but I'm saying the Patriots. If you look at their record, go down open up the stats right now on the record. Just go through the schedule.
Of what they've won so far?
Yeah, just what they've played so far.
All right, so they lost to the Dolphins. They beat the Steelers.
Okay, so Tua's playing great. Hold on. Tua's playing awesome.
Yep.
Their offense is really good. Steelers suck. Yep. They got no quarterback. Okay, Ravens.
They barely lost to the Ravens.
They lost to the Ravens. They barely, but they lost. Yep. So the loss is a loss. They lost to Lamar. So you lose to Tua Lamar.
Yep, they lost to the Packers with Bailey Zappi as their quarterback.
Yep, but they lost to Aaron
Bailey
Rodgers.
Zappi.
So you lost to Tua. Okay, still Aaron Rodgers. Now who's next?
Yeah, Lions.
They killed the Lions.
Yep. Browns.
They killed the Browns.
Bears. They got killed.
The Bears get their asses beat. Justin Fields, which would you say Justin Fields is like an up and coming star? I think he's pretty good.
I think he's good. I think Justin Fields will be fine.
Okay.
They beat the Jets. They beat the Colts and they beat the Jets.
So they beat all teams with shit as their quarterback. Okay.
They
lost to every team that had a decent to good quarterback.
But then how did the Jets beat the Bills though with a shit quarterback?
Because
would you rather have the Jets quarterback or would you rather have Mac Jones?
I'd rather have Mac Jones. I don't like the Jets quarterback. He's too little. He looks like a child, like a little infant. I want to spank him.
But he beat the Bills. The great thing with the Patriots schedule now is it's very hard. But if they come out and win against a bunch of these teams, they're legitimately have a shot at going to the Super Bowl then. If they beat a bunch of these teams, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Bills, they legitimately have a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
They better play well tomorrow, or I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, you have to. They have to. I'm hoping they install a little bit more in the offense, maybe show a little bit more out there, some more, giving Mac a little bit of time. I liked when they were rolling him out. They rolled him out a couple times on bootlegs, and he looked great on it. And they only did it 2 or 3 times. But each time he was out there rolling out, it looked so much better. Receivers got open. He got outside of that pocket. I hope to see more of that. I definitely do. And then I think before we leave, you gotta come up with since we're doing picks, what's your pick? What's your go-to on the Thanksgiving table?
Green bean casserole.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
I love green bean casserole. Get yourself a good green bean casserole. This is what you do, okay? So when you make your plate, you take the stuffing. You put the stuffing, a nice pile of stuffing, okay? Then you take the green bean casserole. So with the stuffing, you just put a spoon indentation in the middle of that stuffing. and you take that green bean casserole, you just plop it right on top. Then you take all those like onion crunchies and you kind of cover the whole thing. It's terrific. Absolutely terrific. What I hate beyond anything for Thanksgiving is cranberry sauce.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like out of the can.
No, you're like you open it and you're like, and the thing comes out like, and then it's the can. It's like literally the can.
The indents
rivet.
on it.
It's like all the little ridges on the can are like, and they put it on this nice dish and then slice it. It's like it looks like a can. It's like disgusting.
Yeah,
I don't like cranberry sauce. I hate it. It's disgusting. So I like green bean casserole. Go to green bean casserole. You got to do that. Leftovers with the stuffing. Oh, stuffing's the best. You got to do stuffing. Paige is trying something different with the turkey. It'll probably be dry as a desert bone. She's gonna. Sorry if she's listening. She's gonna put it in a crock pot. It's not gonna be good.
It's gonna fit in the crock. Was it a small one?
Yeah, they're like two small ones. You put them in there, and then you put the juice on them and let them cook slow. I don't know how I feel about that because I love like the skin and like when you put the butter inside there and it's got like that crispiness.
Yeah, that's the best part. And you inject it like with like butter and stuff like that. Like you inject the actual turkey. Oh, unbelievable.
That's the best. How about
the
you?
best is it's stuffing is the best, but the best
that's
part
your
of Thanksgiving
go-to
is 100%. But the best is after Thanksgiving, you get like the rolls, and then you make yourself a sandwich, right? Like turkey, stuffing, gravy, stuff like that onto a sandwich. And you watch Patriots game. You're going to watch Mac Jones throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ain't anything better than that.
You want to put a car on it? 3 touchdowns?
You won't.
You won't.
But you said you picked them to win.
I'm not a gambling man. You know that, Dan. Dan, you're a guy, you'll sit down at a blackjack table. You'll sit down and play poker for 36 hours straight. Me, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, hey, some guys, they make out like bandits. Like, you had confidence in yourself. You bet on yourself. You grew a business, and you're doing a hell of a job. Me, I just thought that I could just CTE myself for a long time and make a decent amount of money. And then maybe,
that was the safe bet.
Then you pray that you're not sitting naked somewhere in a public space being arrested by an officer. But we'll find out in about 20 years. You'll know.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good time to wrap up.
Or 5. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see after Thanksgiving, right?
All right. Well, hey, I want to say thank you, Dan. I always appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you and your family have a great one. And I want a rematch. I need a rematch in the game of horse. I felt a little bit gypped. I think I can beat you. We know I won in the one-on-one. So I'm going to have to I need a rebuttal, okay? I need a rebuttal.
All right. I'll play again. But, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there listening in. We're going to be back next week. Hopefully we're going to be talking about Patriots beating the Bills. And they're 7-3 when we talk next week, or 7-3, 7-4, something like that, whatever they are. But we'll see you guys next week. Check us out at danandninko.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whole 9 yards. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.